IVM.
Hi,
You're
listening to IVM
Daily.
Hey guys, welcome to IVM Daily. My name is Jaanam and I'm your co-host for today. With me in the studio is Priyanka and she has something to share with all of us today.
Hi, Jaanam.
Over to you.
Yeah. So, I'm also the producer for Shunya One and Rediscovery and Akanksha Against Harassment. And you guys would have also heard me on IVM Likes, which is also one of the shows that I produce. So today, something that's really caught my attention is this article which was published in the Caravan this month. It's called Barren Land, and we have a Kashmir-based journalist called Qazi Wasif who has written about the state of growing saffron in Kashmir, and Kashmir happens to be the third largest producer of saffron in the world after Iran and Spain.
Okay.
And I know the word saffron is a buzzword already, and people are going in some other direction with it. But it's really interesting that he has spoken to farmers who've been doing this as a generational occupation over decades and decades, and now they see that the whole cultivation has sort of decreased massively. And so he says, of course, the government is not giving us enough support, and we had certain amount of money that was coming in for this, but it's not being used, and we don't see that these bore wells that were supposed to be built and not enough is happening with them. There are only a few of them out of around, I think, 128, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so although 101 out of a planned 126 borewells were built, only 8 of the planned 128 sprinkler systems were installed.
Okay.
And who he's spoken to says that he's never seen such a low yield his entire life. And
For any crop or for
saffron,
Okay.
in the recent past.
Okay, but has there been a change in the demand for saffron, or the demand still
The
is
demand
same?
still remains.
Okay.
But the point is that a lot of people are questioning the quality of saffron because the cultivation has decreased, right? So
Right.
the quality, a lot of people, it's like a thappa, as you
Yeah.
and I had this conversation.
Right.
That if you're talking about the Kashmiri saffron is supposed to be the best, but now before they go to sell it, they have to undergo these laboratory tests.
Okay.
And
This is in Delhi, you said, right?
this is in Delhi.
Okay.
But all of them are like, we cannot travel to Delhi, and then there are those costs. Okay.
Yeah.
So what their sort of need of the hour is that either we have like a laboratory that tests all our, all the saffron here and give us more resources to even find out that why this depletion is happening in the first place, and give us a solution for it, because they sort of don't see a way out. They see it's just decreasing. But also the kind of support now, if you talk about one of the factors, and it's extremely insightful and sort of an eye-opener, that one of these farmers is like, hey, I have my children, but they don't want to take over this business. They don't want to
The saffron business.
Yeah, they don't want to add to this modernity, and they don't want to add to it because they think there's this disgrace of being associated with farming.
Okay.
And it also talks about our economy, right? Like the direction that we are going into, and the whole digital media, and being so accessible to so many other things that things like these. This is a family occupation, and
Right.
yeah, so it's just something that has sort of put me in a state of perplex, because we don't usually. I remember saffron as these dubbies that we get from, from every duty free or any local market either. And your parents saying that, hey, this is very high quality and it's expensive, so we are going to be calculative about how much you want to use it.
Yeah.
So those are my memories of saffron, and when I read this, so it's. Also this journalist has reported about this extensively before.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, saffron is like this expensive, not every household in India can afford to have saffron in their house.
Yeah.
So I remember like my nana, he manufactures, I wouldn't say manufactures, but he has a saffron supplying company. It's called, he sells it under this brand called Lion brand. So he gets his saffron from Kashmir.
Okay.
And that's my, like, I remember when we used to go to my grandparents' place back when we were kids. So, and the whole house perpetually smelled of saffron. Every time I entered my nanny's place, it was only saffron. So yeah, and like we got our saffron for free, man. Like throughout our lives, it's just, and my mom, every day we used to get like kesar ka doodh and kheer mein kesar, and it's just like I feel kesar is something which it's got a lot of health benefits also, which a lot of people maybe don't know about.
Right.
It's very healthy. It is indeed expensive. I think it's one of the reasons it is expensive is because of the it's not cultivated everywhere. It's not grown everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
meets certain climatic conditions and has medicinal properties, is used in cosmetics.
Yeah.
Also, what I'd like to talk about is these names of kesar or saffron and the saffron. Kang or Kangposh.
That's in which language?
So Kangposh is the flower of kesar. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, the flower of kesar is called Kangposh.
Kangposh.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I think if there is, what do you think of, whereas spices are concerned today and the way we consume our spices or the way people buy their spices, I think all of us are directing towards this very supermarket system of organic living and all that.
Yeah.
But do you think it sort of gets this gap between, I mean, now of course there are these farmers markets but products like these don't reach to us very easily. So
exactly. So like we were grown up seeing our moms with these, like, you doing those star shaped spices, and those, I don't know what the exact name is also. There's dalchini, there's so many other spices that are used in especially dishes like biryani and all, where you have, like, even kesar comes in there in fact. Yeah. So I'm not sure, are they? I haven't seen, like, I haven't paid that much attention to these spices being available in like hyper cities and all.
I'm sure they are available, but they're not. Mothers know better, right? They will not go into like a very fancy supermarket and walk in and say, "Hey, mujhe kesar chahiye." They'll rather go to a local market and know where a specific type of quality comes.
Right.
And so that was my weekend read about saffron and this article called Barren Land in the Caravan issue of February, and I'm going to be linking this article to for all our listeners in the description of this episode.
Okay, that's thanks Priyanka for sharing that. Listeners, you can tell us about your favorite spices and what do you like to sprinkle your saffron on. Let us know using the hashtag IVM Daily and tweet to us at @IVM Podcasts. I am on Twitter as @Jaanam Devan.
So look forward to our next episode of IVM Daily tomorrow. Stay tuned.
He bends down to test the warm water for his bath. He comes here to quench his thirst for a hot shower and some podcasts. You can witness how he enjoys having other people talk about cool stuff in his bathroom. Indeed, it helps him with his loneliness. You can find more of his species on ivmpodcast.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.